Our next talk, level up your product discovery with opportunity solution trees. I think it's kind of a deep dive, and it's brought to us by the UX designer at MyHammer, Gergana Angelova. Please warmly welcome her. Welcome, Gergana.
Thank you. So let's get started. Let's level up our product discovery. I think we are all trying to get better at what we do. We are trying to improve our processes to make them better, faster, and stronger. And now, as part of Dual Track, discovery is finally getting all the attention it deserves. And here we are asking ourselves which are the best frameworks which can support product discovery, and also which are the tools we should use. But also, do we need new tools? Don't we already have everything we need? And most of the time, the answer is yes, we have everything we need. But I believe that opportunity solution trees can be a valuable addition to your toolbox, and they can make deciding what to learn and what to build much, much easier. An opportunity solution tree is a visual map, so it helps us visualize our work, externalize our thinking to create a shared understanding. First introduced by Teresa Torres, opportunity solution trees are now becoming one of the tools of choice for people working in the software development industry. In her book, Continuous Discovery Habits, Teresa Torres shares some practical advice and real-world examples of how discovery habits supported the success of the companies she coached. And according to Marty Kagan, this book will set you on the path to success. So if you want to be on the path to success and you haven't read this book, I totally recommend you do. Opportunity solution trees enable an outcome-oriented, human-centered, and evidence-driven way of working. So if you value these principles, I think they will fit your work well. Yeah, we are here to build better products. That's what we want to do, products which meet customer needs and reach business goals. And that's also what discovery is about. It is about finding problems worth solving and solutions worth building. But that's not always as easy as it seems, because we live in uncertain times, and customer needs and expectations are changing, the market conditions are changing, even entire ecosystems. Those were the words best describing situations like the pandemic, the war, climate crisis with extreme weather events, the inflation, and all of this has a direct or indirect impact on the people and on the businesses we build products for. So that's the reason we need to be able to change course often. We need to be able to learn quickly to make rapid decisions. Staying on top of shifting customer needs is not easy. That's why we need to get ready, and I think discovery can help us. Teresa Torres describes an opportunity solution tree as a way to visualize and to chart out the best path to your desired outcome. And an opportunity solution tree has 4 distinct levels. The first one is the outcome. That is the goal we are trying to achieve. Then there are opportunities, which are about people, their needs, their desires, their pain points. Solutions are ways to address a pain point or solve a problem or fulfill a desire for our customers. And last but not least, experiments. They help us decide which solutions are worth solving and which we should rather skip. Outcomes are about the business, opportunities about people, and solutions are an experiment connect people to the product. Opportunity solutions trees cover both the problem and the solution space, and with this enable a smooth transition between discovery and delivery. If we only focus on delivery, we can guarantee an output, but we risk solving a problem nobody cares about or building a feature nobody will use. When we have both discovery and delivery in place, the likelihood for us to reach an outcome is much higher. And a desired outcome is how the opportunity solution tree starts. We start with a goal. And in this case, less is better. We should try and define few goals, especially when working in a product team. We want to make sure that the team is not overwhelmed by too many potentially conflicting goals they have to work on. Therefore, it's necessary to negotiate few goals whenever possible. So let's take a look at an example. Imagine you're working on a food delivery app, and the business outcome is to increase revenue by 15% year over year. This is a very big outcome, and it's probably impacted by many variables, which lay in different teams' domains, and this creates dependencies. That's why a business outcome is not a good fit for a product team to work directly on. Business outcome is a change in business performance, and it's usually impacted by multiple product outcomes. Product outcomes are changes in users' behavior. And in our case, what we want to do is map and uncover which are the product outcomes which have an impact on our business outcome. This might sometimes be difficult to uncover. That's why we need the involvement of experienced business people in this case. So imagine we believe that there are two product outcomes we believe are impacting our business outcome. On one side, increasing the share of products priced at more than 35 euros by 10%, and increase the repeat customer rate by 15%. And those are product outcomes. A product team can directly work on them. Product outcomes are leading indicators. This means that their change predicts a change in business outcomes. And they can be tracked anytime. That's pretty good. While business outcomes are lagging indicators. It takes longer to track them. And imagine having a subscription app where the payment is an upfront 12 months payment. In that case, you can only measure revenue once a year, and that's not much flexibility. But there are other things you can measure in the meantime. If you believe that satisfied customers are more likely to keep their contracts instead of canceling them, you can also measure customer satisfaction and try and verify if this link actually exists. Do satisfied customers keep their contracts longer or not? When working on business outcomes, each one of us is a business person to a certain extent. We get a seat at the table. It doesn't matter if you are an engineer, data analyst, researcher, or designer. You have the seat at the table, and that's great. But with this comes an expectation that we understand how the business works and we are able to consult business people. So I really hope we're ready for this challenge. So, at the level of outcomes, when doing that step by step, we will first choose a business outcome. Then we'll map all the product outcomes which are impacting it. And last but not least, we will create a single opportunity solution tree for each product outcome because we want to be focused and we don't want to get distracted. When working with opportunity solution trees at the level of outcomes, the tree reminds you to be outcome-oriented because you literally cannot start a tree without an outcome. It creates alignment around the goal we are trying to achieve by putting it at the foundation of the tree, and it links users to the business by visualizing how user actions translate into business impact. And that's the most important part we start with. And then we are ready to continue with opportunities. Opportunities are about people. So if we work on our outcome to increase the repeat customer rate by 15%, we want to uncover opportunities connected to this outcome. And we can try, and you start with the phrases, I wish, I hope, I want, I hate. So this would help us frame an opportunity from the perspective of a customer. But you are not the customer. I'm not the customer. We don't understand their lives, the context they live in, their past experiences, their expectations and goals. And that's where research comes into the game. So if you are already conducting research on a regular basis, that's great. If not, I'd like to give you some ideas where to start. So you can first take a look at the internal sources of customer data that you have within the organization. Maybe you can read some support tickets or listen to sales conversations. Do you have onboarding calls if you're working in a B2B context? You could jump on those onboarding calls and listen to them. This will give you first understanding of your customers. You can also try some external sources like government databases or open data repositories. And of course, there will be some internal sources in the archives of the organization you work for. Probably there are some recordings of interviews you can listen to or diary studies you can read. Take a look, ask your colleagues. Maybe there is something you can start with. If that's not the case, involve a researcher. You definitely need to do that. And when conducting research, consider two fundamentally different approaches of doing that. So on one side, we have research which is focused on knowledge creation. And that's what most researchers care about. It is about painting the big picture of what we know about users and their lives, and sharing this within the organization, making it available to everybody. On the other side, we have research which is supporting decision making, and that's what most product people care about. They want to find actionable insights which can support their decisions and mitigate risk. Research focused on knowledge creation is usually broad and deep. It's about people's lives. It doesn't involve your product or service. And it's strategic, so it could show you how to play, where to play and how to win. It's also proactive, so it's mainly guided by the urge to learn and to understand. While research focused on decision making is focused and shallow, so it is focused on a specific assumption or problem. And it's tactical, it brings you one step closer to the decision which needs to be done. It's reactive, it's the reaction of the need to size an opportunity, to evaluate, test, decide. Both these approaches are extremely important and complementary, but research focused on knowledge creation will inform your future outcomes and will be your main driver of new opportunities, while research supporting decision making will help you size an opportunity and will be your main helper when working on solutions and experiments. So you start with identifying opportunities, and that's best done with qualitative generative research, like interviews. You want to focus on people, their lifestyles, habits, motivations, and so on. So coming back to our example, you want to increase the repeat customer rate by 15%. So you conducted some interviews, and you also mapped some opportunities which are just assumptions, and they are all here in a big list. Let's give some structure to this. As all opportunities share the same feeling of guilt when ordering food, you can take this and use it as your parent opportunity. And then put all of the other child opportunities below it. This helps structure the tree. and gives you the possibility to address certain opportunities more easily. So here we are, and all of these opportunities are visually the same, so you could not distinguish which one has supporting evidence and which one doesn't. That's why you could try and visualize certainty with a symbol on the tree. Use a question mark where you only have an assumption, or a check mark where you have supporting evidence, or a speech bubble for anecdotal evidence. And that's how the tree can look like after. So you can clearly recognize the opportunities with supporting evidence. After doing that, we can size and assess opportunities with quantitative evaluative research. We can try asking the questions, how many people are affected by this or are experiencing it? How often is it happening? Is it on a regular basis or only once in a while? And how important is it for people? Is it just a slight annoyance or is it a major problem they are actively trying to solve without success? By responding to these questions, you should be able to roughly estimate the impact of this opportunity. Visualize that on the tree also. And with this, you on one side, you have your knowledge gaps. Those are the opportunities you have to learn more about, where you need to conduct further research. But you also can select a target opportunity. And in this case, you will select an opportunity which has supporting evidence and has a high expected impact. With this, step by step, we continue. You conduct research to uncover opportunities and also to inform your future outcomes. You size and assess your opportunities. And based on all of this, you can select a target opportunity. And that's the one we'll take to the next level of the tree. When working with opportunity solution trees at the level of opportunities, the tree reminds us to be human-centered, to think about our customers, and also to uncover and close the knowledge gaps. Then we can continue with solutions. And that's the moment to transition from the problem to the solution space. A lot of teams feel confident in this area because solving problems is what they are good at, what they love doing, what they enjoy. And that's great, but before building a solution, we should first take the time to generate ideas for solutions. And when generating ideas, more is better. We want a lot of ideas because having just a couple of ideas, just a few of them, might make you fall in love with your idea. That's bad. We want to be objective. And in this case, this is one of the few cases when quantity leads to quality. So take the time, take multiple iterations to generate a lot of ideas. And remember, creativity is just a practice, not a talent. It's not associated with a specific role. You need certain tools and techniques, like you can try Crazy 8 or the 6 Thinking Hats or many others. Find something that fits your working style. So we have our solutions, which probably will be many, many more, but to make them readable, let's take a look at 3 of them. And at some point you might notice that there is a solution which just not connects to the opportunity we are working on. It has no space on the tree, just remove it. In this case, it's highlight discounted meals. That has nothing to do with healthy eating. So no worries, you have so many ideas, you can remove it and that will be the right decision. And then with each iteration, you have the possibility to add more and more ideas. After that, Marty Kagan suggests asking the following questions. Is this idea valuable for our users? Is it going to be viable for the business? Is it ethical? Can we build it? And can it be used by our users? And this will help us uncover risks. So if you at this point realize, oh, this idea is unethical, maybe you should just skip it. After that, pick a couple of ideas. That should be pretty quick and uncomplicated thing to do. Use a simple method like dot voting. And when comparing solutions, yet don't think in whether or not terms. You can always pick them later. You're not eliminating them. So these ideas are the ones we take to the next level. So we will iterate. We will generate a lot of ideas. We will assess the risk and choose some solutions to work on. In this case, the tree reminds us to explore multiple options, and that solutions are only one piece of the puzzle. They are not the whole picture, so we need all the rest. And with this, we can continue with experiments, because experiments help us decide which solutions are worth building. Not all of the ideas we generate are going to be built. Experiments help us mitigate risks. And here we have our opportunity, our solution time to choose an experiment. So how can we do that? We can either test the whole solution, but that requires a lot of time and effort. We can A/B test it. Or we can test an assumption. In that case, that could be much cheaper and quicker. So let's uncover the assumptions behind our solution. What has to be true for this idea to succeed? For us, it has to be true that customers associate healthy eating with paleo, that they know they want to eat more paleo and that they know what paleo is. The high risk, no evidence assumption is that customers know what paleo is. And here we are with our solution and assumption, but an assumption is kind of blurry, so we need to transform it in a hypothesis, which will then enable us to choose a suitable experiment based on the risk we are testing for. If you are making a risky assumption about desirability, then a demand test might be appropriate. If you are unsure if users can interact with the interface you are creating, you may opt for usability tests. And yeah, you can think also of interviews or surveys as possible experiments if you conduct them in a way to validate an idea. And when doing that, look for both supporting and refuting evidence, because in that case, you will avoid confirmation bias. That's also the reason why we define success criteria up front. We don't want to leave space for personal opinions. Strategizer create a great template for working with experiments, and that's how it can be applied to our example. We believe that our customers know what paleo is. To verify that, we will survey 350 customers interested in healthy eating and measure how many of them name correctly at least one paleo meal. We are right if at least 70% of customers answer correctly. So here we are with our experiment. We can conduct it and then visualize the results on the tree. And with this, we should be able to decide which solution to build. Hint, it's the one with the green check marks. And that's how it is. Step by step, we map the risky assumptions. We conduct experiments and we choose what to build. And then we repeat. We might continue at the level of opportunities, or we may go back at the level of solutions. It's not a linear way to go, but you will find it with the practice. When working with experiments, the tree reminds us to search for evidence, and also that building comes last after we learn. Trees are really amazing. I believe opportunity solution trees can help us make sense of the messy discovery process. They can help us decide what to learn and what to build. Deciding which solution is worth building can be much, much easier if we follow a structured process. Opportunity solution trees enable an outcome-oriented, human-centered, and evidence-driven way of working. And I really hope that using them can help you level up your process of discovery. With this, I would like to say thank you and ask, what questions do you have?
Thank you so much. She already asked, so which questions do you have? The microphone is brought to the center.
And if you think you have a very trivial question, maybe it's time to ask it.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely.
somebody else is thinking about this exactly same question.
Who's already working with trees? Two people very carefully. That's it. Who ever thought about working with trees? Who heard something that was completely new? Okay, that's a lot. What about the rest? We're close to the end, we don't answer. Who is the right person to introduce this to an organization?
It could be anyone. I believe
Or who could lead the
product
process?
people are probably the ones who are doing it most of the time. But I guess that anyone could try and introduce the tool, because I think engineers are already using similar tools for many, many years. And at the moment, the product is guiding this tool introduction, but of course you have different roles at each stage of the tree which are most important and which are guiding the whole process. So business people should also be involved, even if they are not part of a product team, but they still can contribute a lot in making this foundation of a stable tree you can grow with.
And we had some people who... we have a question. Yes?
Hi, I have a question with regards to the learnings in the experiments. How do you make sure that you can also benefit from the learnings along the whole tree? So do you use a research repository or something like that, or how do you continue it?
I think repository is a great keyword. If you have the possibility to build a repository, I think that's amazing. But the problem with repositories is that many people don't proactively go there to search for insights. Also because they don't know how to do it, they don't know what to search for. So if the research maturity of your organization is not so high, probably it's good to proactively go to stakeholders and share with them whatever might be relevant for them and for the problems they're trying to solve. It's a lot of work, it requires a lot of one-on-ones, but I guess that could be really extremely helpful for the whole organization, also to make sure that the knowledge is distributed within the organization and different teams.
So where do you document it currently? Is it like a Miro board where you have everything documented, or how does it look like?
So for the tree itself, Miro, yes, but you can use whatever visual tool you have already. For the research insights, we have a repository, which is in a tool called Enjoy HQ. And of course, there are maybe some things like release notes, like, oh, why did we decide to build exactly this solution? The whole rationale and the whole decision-making process is shared in Confluence, so kind of different tools for different purposes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes? We have about 50 seconds left.
Oh.
Let's make it a 50 seconds question.
I'll be very quick. Thanks for the talk. I think the step from the business outcomes to then the product outcomes applies to when you have an existing product, for example, an existing service that you want to improve. And how do you deal with this kind of tool when you are in a greenfield discovery, so you want to build something completely new?
Well, if you want to build something completely new, you start directly with opportunities, because that's where you are. You don't yet have the goal because you are exploring, so you want to conduct some research, to listen to some customers, potential customers, to understand them better. And after you have enough knowledge to make a hypothesis about something which might become a product, then of course you can continue with all the other steps. But yeah, that's a good exception. Of course, you don't always have a product.
Perfect. We made it in
On
time.
time.
Thank you so
That's
much, Gergana.
Thank you.